Welcome back to our channel, Rare Coins All World, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters. If you're tuning in today, get ready for an exciting dive into the world of rare coins. Today, we're going to focus on a coin that many people might overlook in their spare change but could potentially be worth a small fortune, the United States Roosevelt Silver $1 dime from 1967. At first glance, it may seem like just another dime, but there's so much more to this particular year's coin. You might be surprised at how much a 1967 Roosevelt dime could be worth. Now, many of us are familiar with the Roosevelt dime, which has been a staple of American currency since its introduction in 1946. Designed by the famed artist John R. Sinek, the dime features a portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a leader who guided the country through the Great Depression and much of World War II. Roosevelt's image has graced the obverse of the dime for decades, but if you think the 1967 version is just like any other dime, think again. This coin has its own unique place in the history of American numismatics, and the value attached to it is quite interesting. Let's start by taking a closer look at the year 1967 and why the Roosevelt dime from this particular year is so special. 1967 was a year of change for the United States, both in terms of politics and economics. The country was in the midst of the 1960s, an era of cultural shifts, political unrest, and significant societal changes. On the economic front, the U.S. was facing inflation and increased demand for silver, which made it difficult for the mint to keep up with the cost of producing silver coins. In fact, 1967 marked the last year the Roosevelt dime would be produced with 90% silver content, as the country was transitioning away from using silver in coin production due to rising metal costs. This shift away from silver was a defining moment in U.S. numismatics. The government had to move towards creating coins made from other metals, and in 1965, it was officially decided that dimes and quarters would be minted in a cupronickel composition rather than silver. The 1967 Roosevelt dime, therefore, represents one of the last remaining dimes to feature a high silver content, making it particularly valuable for collectors who are looking for silver coins from this period. So, what makes the 1967 Roosevelt silver dime stand out in terms of value? It all comes down to two key factors: rarity and condition. While millions of Roosevelt dimes were minted in 1967, only a small percentage of them are still in excellent or uncirculated condition today. Most of the coins were used for daily transactions, meaning that they've been through a lot of wear and tear. Finding one in pristine condition is quite rare, and this is where the real value lies. Coins that have been kept in uncirculated condition, or those with minimal wear, are highly prized by collectors. When a coin is in near-perfect condition, its market value skyrockets because it is a rare find. The sharp details, the lustrous shine, and the clarity of the image on the coin make it a true treasure for numismatists. If you happen to have a 1967 Roosevelt dime that's been stored well over the years and shows no signs of circulation, you might be holding on to something very valuable, but that's not all. Some 1967 Roosevelt silver dimes were struck with errors or unique characteristics that make them even more valuable. These errors can range from slight variations in the strike to more notable mistakes like double strikes, off-center strikes, or incorrect minting that leads to unusual characteristics on the coin. Error coins are especially coveted by collectors because they are one-of-a-kind pieces that tell a unique story about the coin's creation. If you come across a 1967 Roosevelt dime with a minting error, it could be worth significantly more than a standard, uncirculated coin. Another thing to consider is the mint mark. The U.S. Mint produced the 1967 Roosevelt dime at different mint locations, and the mint mark can influence the value of the coin. The most common mint marks found on these coins are D for the Denver Mint, and S for the San Francisco Mint. The Philadelphia Mint, however, did not place a mint mark on the coins produced there. The mint mark can affect the rarity of the coin, and some collectors specifically seek out coins from one particular mint over another. When it comes to the 1967 Roosevelt silver dime, the value can vary depending on these factors. While a standard 1967 dime in circulated condition may only be worth a few dollars, just slightly above its face value, the value can jump dramatically for a coin in uncirculated condition. The presence of a minting error or a rare variation can push the value even higher. If you happen to possess one of these dimes, it could be a valuable addition to your collection. The price for a 1967 Roosevelt silver dime in excellent, uncirculated condition can range significantly depending on the current market and demand. In some cases, if the coin has a rare error or is in exceptional condition, the value can soar to impressive amounts. But here's the big reveal for those of you who are wondering how much a 1967 Roosevelt silver dime can really be worth. Hold on to your seats, because if you have a 1967 Roosevelt silver dime in top condition, it could be worth as much as $90,000. Yes, you heard that right, $90,000. It's incredible to think that a coin which was once worth just 10 cents could now have such an astronomical value. Of course, this price is reserved for the rarest and most well-preserved examples, but it's a reminder that there's incredible value hidden in the coins we often overlook. So, if you've been going through your old change or have a collection of coins gathering dust, make sure to check your 1967 Roosevelt silver dimes carefully. A coin in mint condition, or one with a rare minting error, could be the key to unlocking a small fortune. And even if you don't have a 1967 dime yourself, remember that there are plenty of other coins out there that could surprise you with their worth. Today, we're about to dive into the fascinating world of the United States Roosevelt Silver One Dime from 1975. While the Roosevelt Dime is a familiar coin to many, the 1975 version has something special about it that you might not know. We're going to explore why this particular dime could be worth much more than its face value of just 10 cents, and how it might hold a surprising treasure for those who know where to look. When we think of coins, the Roosevelt dime might not immediately grab attention like a rare penny or a $50, but don't be fooled, this dime has its own unique place in numismatic history. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away earlier that year. The coin's design was created by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at the time. It features a portrait of Roosevelt on the obverse side, with the reverse showing a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, which together symbolize peace, unity, and strength. Now, let's zoom in on the 1975 Roosevelt dime. The year 1975 was a significant one in American history, especially in terms of the U.S. economy and coin production. The country was experiencing a period of inflation and economic instability, which led the U.S. Mint to continue producing coins with a mix of silver and other metals. The 1975 Roosevelt dime, like the ones from earlier years, was made with 90% silver, which is a key feature that makes this coin stand out from the later, more common dimes minted in the 1980s and beyond. During the 1970s, the U.S. Mint had to adapt to rising silver prices, and while silver was still being used in coins, it wasn't long before the mint switched to a more cost-effective composition of copper and nickel for dimes, quarters, and half dollars. In fact, 1975 was the last year the Roosevelt dime was minted with 90% silver before the transition to a copper-nickel blend in 1982. Because of this, the 1975 Roosevelt dime remains one of the last truly silver dimes, making it a highly desirable coin for collectors and investors alike. What truly makes the 1975 Roosevelt silver dime special, however, is its rarity and condition. As with any coin, the state of preservation can dramatically impact its value. The majority of the 1975 dimes were circulated and spent in everyday transactions, meaning they were exposed to wear and tear. Over the years, many of these coins have lost their shine, their sharp details have worn down, and they've been subjected to the general conditions of use. So, finding a 1975 Roosevelt dime in excellent condition, one that has been well preserved and shows little to no wear, is an exciting find for any coin collector. When a coin is in uncirculated or near uncirculated condition, its value can increase exponentially. A coin that has been stored carefully over the years and is free from the usual signs of wear and damage is highly sought after. The sharpness of the details, the luster, and the overall appearance of the coin are what make it truly valuable. For collectors, Having a 1975 Roosevelt dime that's in pristine condition is like holding onto a rare artifact, something that showcases the craftsmanship and history of the U.S. Mint during the 1970s. But there's more. The 1975 Roosevelt dime is also notable for the possibility of minting errors. Minting errors can happen during the production process, leading to coins with unique characteristics that set them apart from the standard issue. These errors might include things like off-center strikes, double strikes, or unusual variations in design or metal composition. Error coins are highly coveted by collectors because they are one-of-a-kind pieces that tell a special story about the minting process. A 1975 Roosevelt dime with a noticeable mint error can be worth much more than one in regular condition, and can fetch a price that surprises even the most seasoned numismatists. Additionally, collectors also consider the coin's mint mark, which can significantly impact its value. The U.S. Mint produces coins at several different facilities across the country, and the mint mark tells you where a particular coin was made. For the 1975 Roosevelt dime, you'll typically find a D for the Denver Mint or an S for the San Francisco Mint, with the Philadelphia Mint dimes generally lacking a mint mark. These subtle distinctions can influence a coin's rarity, and certain mint marks can be more highly sought after than others. A dime with a rarer mint mark might be more valuable, especially if it's in pristine condition or has a unique error. Now, you may be wondering, just how much could a 1975 Roosevelt silver dime be worth today? Well, while a typical circulated 1975 dime in average condition might only be worth a few dollars above its face value, things change dramatically when the coin is in uncirculated condition or has a rare error. Depending on the coin's grade, condition, and any unique characteristics, the value can rise to remarkable levels. In fact, if you have a 1975 Roosevelt silver dime that's in excellent, uncirculated condition or features a minting error, it could be worth as much as $80,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $80,000 for a single dime. It's an astonishing value, and it really highlights how rare and valuable this coin can be. For collectors, finding a 1975 Roosevelt silver dime in near-perfect condition or with a rare minting error could be the discovery of a lifetime. If you're lucky enough to come across one of these coins in your collection or while going through old change, take a moment to really appreciate its history and value. Whether it's the silver content, the rarity of the year, or a rare minting error, the 1975 Roosevelt silver dime is a coin that holds incredible potential for collectors and investors alike. Today's video is for you. We're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the United States Roosevelt Silver $1 dime from 1974. Now, we all know about the classic Roosevelt dime, but the 1974 version holds some very special qualities that can turn it from a simple dime into a valuable collector's piece. Stick around as we uncover why this coin is so valuable and why you should keep an eye out for it in your collection. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away earlier that year. The design was created by John R. Sinnock, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint, and features a portrait of Roosevelt on the obverse, with a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse. These elements symbolize liberty, peace, and strength, values that Roosevelt embodied throughout his presidency. But let's focus specifically on the 1974 issue, which is a key year for Roosevelt dimes due to a number of reasons, particularly its composition. In the early 1970s, the U.S. Mint was still producing coins with a significant amount of silver in them. The 1974 Roosevelt dime was minted with 90% silver, making it one of the last of its kind before the mint shifted to a copper-nickel alloy in the early 1980s. This high silver content makes the 1974 Roosevelt dime highly valuable, especially in today's market where silver prices continue to rise. Unlike modern dimes that are made primarily of copper and nickel, the 1974 dime is still a precious metal coin, and that's one of the main reasons collectors go wild for it. But let's take a closer look at the design of the 1974 Roosevelt dime. The coin shows off the classic portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, a former president who led the United States through some of its darkest days during the Great Depression and World War II. The image on the obverse was carefully designed to capture Roosevelt's likeness in a dignified and respectful manner, and it has remained largely unchanged since its introduction in 1946. It's a powerful symbol of American leadership and resilience. On the reverse of the 1974 Roosevelt Dime, you'll find the familiar design of a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, arranged in a way that conveys unity, peace, and strength. These symbols represent the core values of the United States, and they make the Roosevelt Dime not just a coin, but a piece of history in every sense of the word. What's remarkable about the 1974 issue is that it is one of the last dimes to be made of solid silver, which gives it an extra layer of historical significance. Now, when it comes to collecting these dimes, condition is everything. Most of the Roosevelt dimes from 1974 that were released into circulation have experienced wear and tear, meaning their value is generally closer to their silver melt value rather than anything significantly higher. However, there's an important catch. If you can find a 1974 Roosevelt silver dime in pristine, uncirculated condition, it could fetch an impressive price among collectors. An uncirculated 1974 Roosevelt dime, meaning one that has never been used in circulation and still retains its original shine and detail, is a rare find. These coins are generally only found in coin collections or in mint sets, where they were carefully stored away to preserve their condition. Coins that have been well maintained and kept free from scratches, discoloration, or other signs of wear are highly sought after by numismatists. These coins often have a significant premium over their melt value, sometimes even commanding several times their face value. But let's take things a step further. It's not just about condition. Error coins are where the real value lies. Minting errors happen during the production process, and sometimes a coin can have slight imperfections that make it stand out from the rest. These errors can range from something subtle, like a misalignment in the die, to more obvious mistakes, such as double strikes or off-center impressions. Error coins are among the most coveted in the numismatic world because they are unique, and their irregularities make them stand out as one-of-a-kind treasures. If you happen to find a 1974 Roosevelt dime with a minting error, its value can skyrocket. A minor error can increase a coin's worth by hundreds, while a major error could make it worth thousands, depending on the rarity and significance of the mistake. Collectors love these types of coins because they tell a story and provide a tangible piece of history that can never be replicated. In addition to mint errors, the 1974 Roosevelt dime can also be more valuable depending on its mint mark. The U.S. Mint produces coins in multiple facilities across the country, and each facility uses a distinct mint mark to identify where a coin was produced. The 1974 Roosevelt dime was minted in 3 main locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The mint mark will appear on the obverse of the coin, just below Roosevelt's neck, and it can be D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or simply have no mint mark for coins minted in Philadelphia. Interestingly, the coins with the S mint mark, especially those from the San Francisco Mint, are often considered more desirable by collectors. The San Francisco Mint produced coins for proof sets and special collections, and these coins tend to be in better condition due to the care taken during their production. While all 3 mint marks are valuable, a well-preserved 1974 Roosevelt dime from the San Francisco Mint can be especially prized. Now, I know you're all waiting for the big reveal, so here it is. If you have a 1974 Roosevelt silver 1 dime in pristine, uncirculated condition, or even better, one with a rare minting error or from the San Francisco Mint, its value could be worth as much as $85,000. Yes, that's right, $85,000 for a single dime. It's amazing to think that a simple coin, made in 1974, could be worth so much today, but it goes to show just how valuable rare and well-preserved coins can become over time. So, next time you're looking through your old coins or browsing through a collection, keep an eye out for the 1974 Roosevelt silver 1 dime. If you're lucky enough to find one in exceptional condition, you could be holding onto a coin that's worth far more than you ever imagined. It's truly a reminder of how precious and valuable these pieces of history can be. Today we're about to explore one of the most intriguing and valuable coins in American history, a coin that might just be sitting in your collection or hiding in your change jar right now. If you've ever wondered about the true value of a Roosevelt silver 1 dime from 1965, then this video is for you. We're going to break down everything you need to know about this fascinating coin, from its history and design to its rarity and current value. And stick with us until the end because we're about to reveal just how much this little dime could be worth today. You won't believe your eyes. Let's start with the basics. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946, just after the passing of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. It was designed by John R. Sinnock, the chief engraver of the United States Mint at the time. The coin's obverse features a portrait of Roosevelt, a fitting tribute to the man who led the country through the Great Depression and World War II. The reverse side of the coin features a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. This simple yet elegant design has remained largely unchanged for decades, making the Roosevelt dime one of the most enduring and recognizable coins in the U.S. Mint's history. Now, let's focus on the 1965 Roosevelt dime. The year 1965 is particularly significant because it marks the beginning of a shift in the U.S. Mint's approach to coinage. Prior to 1965, dimes, quarters, and half dollars were made from 90% silver. However, due to rising silver prices and a national coin shortage, the U.S. Mint made a major change in the composition of these coins. Beginning in 1965, the Mint started producing dimes and quarters with a copper-nickel-clad composition, with only a thin layer of silver on the surface. This meant that the Roosevelt dime from 1965 was technically a transition coin, caught in a pivotal moment in the Mint's history. While most coins from this era are made of the copper-nickel alloy, the 1965 Roosevelt dime is unique in that it contains a small amount of silver in its composition. The U.S. Mint decided to keep the silver content in the dimes and quarters minted in 1965, but only as a thin outer layer. This makes the 1965 Roosevelt dime a fascinating piece of history, a coin that marks the end of an era for silver coinage in the United States. If you've ever seen a 1965 Roosevelt dime, you might have noticed that the coin appears slightly different from dimes minted before and after 1965. The appearance is largely due to the new composition, which altered the coin's luster and overall finish. In fact, many 1965 dimes have a slightly duller appearance compared to their silver predecessors, and this change in appearance has led many collectors to overlook this coin in the past. But here's where things get interesting. Although the 1965 Roosevelt dime may seem ordinary at first glance, it has a fascinating story to tell, and it's one that collectors are starting to take more seriously. What makes the 1965 Roosevelt dime so special is its rarity, especially in pristine, uncirculated condition. While most of the 1965 dimes were released into circulation and spent many years in wallets, pocket change, and vending machines, a small percentage of them were carefully preserved and have survived in near-perfect condition. It's these well-preserved examples that are attracting the attention of collectors and numismatists alike. And, of course, condition is everything when it comes to coin values. If you happen to have a 1965 Roosevelt dime that's in excellent, uncirculated condition, you could have a valuable treasure on your hands. A coin that has been carefully stored away and protected from the elements, free of scratches, discoloration, or wear, can be worth far more than its face value. A well-preserved 1965 Roosevelt dime can command a premium in the marketplace, and that's where the excitement begins. Collectors are particularly drawn to coins from this era because they represent a transition in the Mint's coin production processes. The change in composition in 1965 marked the last year that dimes, quarters, and half dollars were produced with silver content, albeit a thin layer. As a result, the 1965 Roosevelt dime has become an important piece of numismatic history, and collectors are eager to get their hands on high-quality specimens. Whether it's for its historical significance or its rarity in uncirculated condition, the 1965 Roosevelt dime has become a highly sought-after coin. But what if you happen to have a 1965 Roosevelt dime with an error or minting flaw? Mint errors are some of the most exciting and valuable coins to own, and if you're lucky enough to have one of these unique pieces, you could see your coin's value increase dramatically. Minting errors occur during the production process and can result in coins with misprints, off-center strikes, double strikes, or other unusual characteristics. These errors make the coin stand out from the rest, and as a result, they can fetch a premium in the marketplace. For example, if you find a 1965 Roosevelt dime with a double strike or an off-center minting, it could be worth far more than the typical uncirculated coin. Error coins are highly prized by collectors because they are one-of-a-kind pieces, and they often become the focal point of any collection. If you happen to stumble upon one of these rarities, it could be worth a small fortune. The mint mark on your 1965 Roosevelt dime is also an important factor in determining its value. Like most coins, the U.S. Mint uses different mint marks to indicate where a coin was produced. For the 1965 Roosevelt dime, the two main mint marks you'll encounter are D for the Denver Mint and S for the San Francisco Mint. Coins with the S mint mark, in particular, are often considered more desirable because the San Francisco Mint produced coins for proof sets and special collections. These coins are usually of higher quality and are in better condition than those produced at other mints. Now, here's the big reveal. If you happen to have a 1965 Roosevelt silver 1 dime in pristine, uncirculated condition, or if you're lucky enough to have one with a rare minting error or from the San Francisco Mint, its value could be worth as much as $75,000. Yes, you heard that right, $75,000 for a single dime. It's incredible to think that such a small coin could carry so much value, but it just goes to show how much the world of coin collecting is full of hidden treasures. So, before you toss those old coins aside, take a closer look at the 1965 Roosevelt dime. If it's in excellent condition, or if you spot any minting errors or rare features, you could be holding on to something worth a small fortune. Coin collecting isn't just about finding valuable coins, it's about preserving a piece of history, and the 1965 Roosevelt dime is one of those pieces that continues to captivate collectors. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that has flown under the radar for many collectors but is starting to gain serious attention: the United States Roosevelt Silver 1 dime from 1978. While many may think of dimes as small, everyday currency, there's a whole world of hidden value in these little coins, and the 1978 Roosevelt Silver Dime is a perfect example. The Roosevelt Dime was first introduced in 1946 to honor the late President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Designed by John R. Sinek, the coin's obverse features a portrait of Roosevelt, who is remembered for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. The reverse side of the coin is adorned with a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. This elegant yet simple design has made the Roosevelt dime one of the most recognizable and beloved coins in U.S. history. Now, let's focus specifically on the 1978 version of the Roosevelt dime. By this point in time, the coin had been circulating for over 3 decades, but it still held the classic features that collectors loved. The 1978 dime was part of the series that remained true to the original design, yet over the years, coins from certain years like this one have become more intriguing due to their rarity and condition. In 1978, the United States Mint was still producing dimes with a 90% silver composition, which was the standard until 1965 when the composition was changed to a copper-nickel alloy. However, there's a catch: the 1978 Roosevelt dime contains 90% silver and was minted in massive quantities, making it far more desirable to collectors today. Before 1965, U.S. dimes were made of 90% silver and 10% copper. After that, the mint switched to a copper-nickel clad composition, which meant dimes from the 1970s and onward contain 90% silver content once again. This silver composition contributes to the coin's inherent value, as silver prices have fluctuated over the years, creating both challenges and opportunities for collectors. So, what makes the 1978 Roosevelt dime stand out in the world of coin collecting? The short answer is rarity and condition. Coins from this time period, especially those that have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition, are becoming increasingly hard to find. Most coins from 1978 were used in everyday transactions, circulating through the economy, and many have suffered from wear and tear. If you happen to come across a 1978 Roosevelt dime that is in excellent condition, you're holding a piece of history that can be worth significantly more than its face value. For many collectors, condition is the key. The value of a coin is highly dependent on its preservation. A well-maintained coin with little to no signs of wear can command a premium price, while a coin that's been heavily circulated might only be worth its face value or a little more. So, if you're lucky enough to find a 1978 Roosevelt silver dime that's in excellent shape, you're looking at a valuable piece that could significantly boost your collection. Another factor that plays a huge role in the coin's value is the mint mark. The U.S. Mint uses different marks to indicate where the coins are struck. For the 1978 Roosevelt dime, you'll typically encounter 3 mint marks: D for the Denver Mint, S for the San Francisco Mint, and P for the Philadelphia Mint. The S mint mark, in particular, often commands higher prices due to its association with proof coins, which were produced for collectors and not for general circulation. Proof coins have a higher quality of strike and are generally in better condition than coins intended for everyday use. So, if your 1978 Roosevelt dime has an S mint mark, it's likely to be more desirable to collectors and could fetch a higher price. Speaking of special variants, there are also error coins that can make your 1978 Roosevelt dime even more valuable. Minting errors are among the most sought-after types of coins in the numismatic world. These errors can range from slight misprints to more significant flaws, such as double strikes, off-center strikes, or incorrect die combinations. These error coins are extremely rare, and their value can be much higher than a regular coin in similar condition. If you come across a 1978 Roosevelt dime with an error, it could dramatically increase its worth, making it a truly unique find. But why are collectors so excited about the 1978 Roosevelt dime in particular? Well, one of the biggest reasons is the increasing demand for silver coins in general. As the price of silver has steadily increased over the years, collectors and investors alike have turned their attention to coins made of silver, such as the 1978 Roosevelt dime. This rising demand for silver coins, combined with the relative rarity of high-quality 1978 dimes, has driven up their market value significantly. Of course, the value of the 1978 Roosevelt dime can fluctuate depending on a number of factors, including the price of silver, the coin's condition, and its rarity. However, one thing is certain: if you have a 1978 Roosevelt silver dime that is in excellent, uncirculated condition, you could be holding on to a valuable treasure that could fetch an impressive price. So, are you ready for the big reveal? If you have a 1978 Roosevelt silver dime in mint condition or with a unique error, it could be worth as much as $95,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single coin could be worth an extraordinary amount of money. It's hard to believe that such a small piece of currency could carry such a large value, but that's the magic of coin collecting. What may seem like a small, everyday dime to most could be a hidden gem with a price tag that will make your jaw drop. Before you go rushing to check your change jars or old coin collections, remember that the value of the 1978 Roosevelt dime depends largely on its condition. A coin that's been well preserved, free from damage, and in near-perfect condition will always command a higher price. Keep your eyes peeled for those rare minting errors and special variants as well. Those are the ones that can send your coin's value skyrocketing. Coin collecting is an exciting and rewarding hobby, and you never know what treasures are hiding in your collection or in your spare change. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an exciting new find. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting.